It's been a violent month in Youngstown, and city leaders are concerned about the number of murders. Both current and newly elected council members are meeting tonight at 5:30. 27 First News anchor Stan Boney is live to tell us what they'll be talking about. Stan?
Well, between November the 6th and December the 3rd, there were 5 murders in the city of Youngstown. There have been now 22 murders for the entire year. That's 3 over what they had last year. And tonight at 5:30, behind me on the steps of Youngstown City Hall, members of the current Youngstown City Council and some of the new members of Youngstown City Council, which will be sworn in on January 1st, will be gathering here to plead with the community on stopping the violence and the violence that's been going on, especially the recent rash over about the last month or so. Now, off to my left are 2 of the current Youngstown City Council members. I have Nate Pinkert of the 3rd Ward and Janet Tarpley of the 6th Ward. Nate, what brings us down here this evening? How did all this happen?
Well, some of my colleagues had gotten together last week and said maybe council as a whole should get together to draw attention to the recent spike in the homicides in the city of Youngstown. Most of these are very senseless, as you know, and the city has taken a lot of steps to try to lower the crime rate as well as the homicide rate in the city through our initiatives such as SERVE. The police department has been very actively involved, but you know the police can't do this by themselves. It takes the citizens to stand up, basically stand and say, listen, I'm tired, I'm not taking it, and come forward with information, report crimes. One of the things that disturbs me a lot in our communities is people hear gunfire and nobody calls the police. Gunfire shouldn't be a way of life. You shouldn't hear that in your neighborhoods. So I'm encouraging people to report crimes, to take advantages of our initiatives. We have initiatives for returning citizens. There are a lot of services available, but people need to take the advantage of it. And most of all, I often wonder, what happens if someone just says, I'm out of here? I'm not being a part of this, I'm going home. Once you pull that trigger, you cannot bring that bullet back again. And somebody's life is taken, and someone else's life is ruined for the rest of their lives.
All right, Janet, and all those 5 homicides have been on the south side, 4 of them in your ward.
Right.
What's going on there?
Well, once again, we have probably one of the highest crime areas. We have had the highest crime area probably in the last 10 years, so this is nothing new. However, what the good news is that we have reduced the number of violent crime in the entire city, including the 6th Ward. However, just like Nate just said, we all have to decide when is enough. Our young people need to stop it. We have some who has been getting killed is our older young adults, I should say. It's not so many of our youth, but our older young adults. These are the individuals that we are reaching out to with our SERVE initiative. We're reaching out to with our community police department. We have a good working relationship with the police department and the community. I don't believe we have that situation that we are having in other parts of the country with our police department. So we need to take advantage of that as citizens and as community people and community leaders and say, hey, let's work with the police. Let's make sure our elderly is safe. Let's make sure our children are safe. Let's make sure everyone is safe. And we have to do that by talking to each other, letting each other know what's going on. And the people who are involved in this crime, all of us got to say to them, enough is enough. We're not taking this anymore. We don't want it, and you can do better. And we're offering you services so you can do better. If you don't have a GED, if you don't have your high school diploma, we're offering you that. If you want to get a job, we're going to help train you to get that. So there's been some things that we're doing to try to make sure that you don't have to continue down the cycle of violence and the cycle of selling drugs or being involved in gangs and gang activities.
All right, Janet, Nate, thanks very much. Once again, 5:30 this evening. Council members, both current and the future ones, will be gathered to talk about this issue a little bit further. We'll have a report for you on what they say coming up at 6. Live from downtown Youngstown, I'm Stan Boney, WKBN 27 First News at 5.